everybody. Welcome to Bestie Book Reviews. I'm here with my bestie Mandy.
And I'm here with my bestie Jessica.
So it's time for those 1-minute book recs. So we go over all the books of the past week that we read with 1-minute synopsises for each book. I still question whether it's synopses or synopsises.
Oh my gosh.
After all these years. Okay, anyhow, before we get started, we do have some fun things to talk about. So Mandy, this is all on you, boo.
Okay, well, we are trying to get to 5,000 subscribers before the end of the year, so we appreciate your support on that. And to say thanks, we are doing our giveaways. So today we are giving away hell of a show, so stay tuned. Somewhere in this video, we will be doing our wheel of names for that. And then next week, we'll be announcing our next giveaway. So definitely stay tuned for giveaways as we do our 26 giveaways of 2026. And if you're looking for ways to support us, like and comment on our videos, we appreciate that. And we also have channel membership for those of you who are interested in that. And thank you.
Yay.
Let's dive in to
Let's
some
dive
book
in.
recs.
Tell me about your reading week.
I was surprised that I actually got as much in as I did, but I did some audio because I am in the depths of
Still painting.
House remodeling, and it looks like I'm not like, oh my gosh, I'm so frustrated, but that's a whole nother video. I could just rant. It's just so slow. Like, I just want it to get done, and like I feel like we're not making any progress. But my son's race car caught on fire and they had to pull, like, he has to do a whole new motor, and so that has taken my husband's time for like housework is now out in the Oh, so I don't know if I said how many books I read. I got 10, but I read a trilogy, so I have 8 to talk about.
Okay. So I was in a mood. Nothing sat right with me this week. I read 8 books. 2 of them are rereads that I'm not going to talk about, so I've got 6 to talk about.
You have been in a big mood this past week.
I have been. I'm just tired. I mean, I've been working 12, 14-hour days every day. I'm tired. I got to go to work after this today, too. Tired. Just tired.
I will go to work for you and you can come paint.
Honestly, that sounds like a plan. We're actually
you feel that way until you get to the freaking vaulted ceilings.
Oh, you have those? No. So when we paint, Jeff does like all the big surface areas, but he makes me do like all the trim and all the corners and the cracks, and then he complains about how I paint that I splatter it on him, and I'm like, then don't be bald and standing below me. I don't know what to tell you.
I've been doing the most of the painting, and Jay's been doing. We used to have cadet heaters in the house when we bought it, and so Jay's pulling. We have a heat pump, so Jay's pulling all those out and fixing, like patching the walls and stuff, and it's just a slow process.
Yeah. So, okay. Well, let's get this party started.
I have to go back to work,
and you do have to go back to work. Mm-hmm.
Anyway. Okay, let's talk about books. Sorry.
Let's talk about books.
I'm going first, I assume.
You are going first. I know how much you love that.
Yeah. So, in case people didn't see my short, I got to go meet Vi Keeland and Penny Reed. So Vi Keeland just had a new book come out, The Fall Affair, and I have a short about the PR box that I got for that I was not expecting, and that sucker is huge. Like, it's very exciting. So let's talk about The Fall Affair. Okay, check out my book for. I have to show you my book. Okay, look, it's the double-sided one. So we have this cover and this cover.
Oh,
which cover is your favorite, Jessica?
The not cartoon cover.
I know, this is my favorite too.
Yeah.
But because I went to the event, I also got the deluxe edition one. Okay. So do I hold them both up as I talk?
No, just hold the hot guy up. That's all anybody wants to see anyway. Go.
Okay. It's hard to do the timer and hold 2 books at the same time. Okay, so this is The Fall Affair. There is audio for it. I listened to it. It was phenomenal. It's done by Connor Kress and Andy Arndt. This is already out. We have Allegra and Mateo in this one. So Allegra is an attorney in New York. Fun fact, Vi Keeland was an attorney in New York before she left that to write full time. Anyway, so she gets passed over for a promotion or being made partner that she felt like she was a shoe-in for. And so she epically quits that evening. And her grandma has passed away and so she has to travel to Tuscany to take care of, like, settle the whole estate. And when she gets there, she finds out she has to stay for 3 months and that her grandma actually left her like the vineyard and all this stuff. Mateo is the neighbor, and Mateo rents or leases, I guess it would be, the vineyard. And so the two of them get off on a little bit of a rocky start. And oh, this is just such a great story. They are polar opposites. Like, Mateo is very much just a laid back Italian guy. She is pretty, like, that high strung attorney New Yorker. And the two of them both have some baggage that they need to work through. And it's just told so beautifully, like just how Vi Keeland writes. Like, I just love how she writes. Like, I just get so sucked into her stories. So, okay. 5 stars. I absolutely loved it. The Tuscany setting is just wonderful.
Okay.
Fun fact, Vi Keeland went and rented a house in Tuscany and fell in love with the area. And that's what the book is based on, is her, well, her experience being there. Also, fun fact, Vi Keeland is really short. And so I look like a giant in the picture with her. Thank you for listening to my fun facts about Vi Keeland. I just really enjoyed meeting Vi Keeland. It was like a highlight for me.
That's
Thank
good.
you.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Ready. Okay. So now that Mandy's given us all her fun fact of Vi Keeland's, let's talk about my first book.
Can I think of any other ones?
So this one I wanted to talk about last week, but I was like 75% of the way through and I still had that little bit left to go. So I was like, do I finish it before the 1 minute book recs? And I'm like, nope, I'll wait and just do it next week. So we got it this week. So this is Faithless Vows by A.M. Cray. This takes place in the 50s. This is a mafia romance. But since there is a forward in here where she talks about the fact that like this is set in the 50s and all the misogyny that goes into play with that. So expect that in this book. This is about Alana and Ronan. When Alana was 10, her family moved her from Ireland to the States. And that is so that her dad could work for Ronan's dad, who is the head of the Irish Mafia in Chicago, where they're at. And so it's a bit of a culture shock for her. But Ronan's mom comes over, loves her, like she just has a relationship with his mom, and eventually that kind of leads to a friendship with him because her brother and him are the same age. And then she finds out as she gets older that there's an arranged marriage between her and Ronan. And so she and Ronan actually he asks her if he can start dating her when I think she's like 16 and he's a couple of years older. And so they date for 2 years or so, and then he proposes to her, which they're already they're already in an arrangement, but he just feels like he's going to make this real for her. She's living in La La Land. She doesn't realize that he's doing all these, like she knows the mafia is going on, but she's taught as a woman, it's none of her business. But also he hasn't stopped sleeping around. There's a lot of things going on. So something blows up on their wedding day and she ends up running off, and we'll see what happens. So I love this. I give it 5 stars. No, not marrying a shifter. Oh. This is contemporary. It's just set in the 50s. So it is it is historical. I loved it. I think this is the first book I've read that is set in the 50s like this. And I loved it. I gave it 5 stars. It'll probably be on my top books of the year. Just because I freaking loved it. Haven't mentioned that I loved it.
I'm going to have to read that.
Yeah, it was good. It's good.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to take us in a very different direction.
With a shifter.
No. With a cheerleader.
Oh, okay.
This is The Cheerleader is Off Limits by QB Tyler. So I, along with many people, have been waiting for this book ever since The Nanny is Off Limits came out, because River, we see him in that and she teased this. So she's been teasing it for a while and it finally came out this August. So in this we have River. So I would really recommend reading The Nanny is Off Limits first, because you really see the characters and I feel like it kind of flows better. It can be a standalone, but I think you would get more out of it if you've read the other one. Anyway, so we have River. River is a high school football coach as well as a teacher at this high school. And he meets this woman on a plane back home. they kind of hit it off, and they decide they start texting each other. She's only 21 and he's like 39 now, I think. And he is trying to, like, he's reached a place in his life where it's just time to start to settle down. Like, he realizes this, he wants that, but he keeps finding himself attracted to these like younger women. And so his sister-in-law is kind of getting on his case about this, like, and trying to set him up, and just things just aren't working for him in that respect. But he's really drawn to this woman. They start seeing each other. They spend a week together. She's supposedly going off to college. And then it's the first day of school, and she walks into his high school class. Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
So can you imagine the freak out? He thought she was 21, and now here she is, a student in his class. So really enjoyed this one, rated at 4 stars.
Okay. So
I do want to point out she is 19. She says she's 21, but she's actually 19. So for anybody who's curious about how high school she was.
Okay. So the next book I picked up was one that was, it just kind of looked fun, and it was free on Audible. So I don't know if it's still free, but it was when I got it. So this is called Your Coffin or Mine, and it's by Jacqueline Hyde. So this is about Aubrey and Vlad. So this is a rom-com. This was actually quite fun. So this is about Aubrey, who is, she's on a flight. She's a vlogger. Like, she's got an influencer, a travel vlogger, whatever you want to call it. And she is heading to Transylvania. And she's going to go to this new bed and breakfast that just opened, or it's a hotel that just opened. She's fleeing her fiance, who is a complete douche canoe, and so she just wants nothing more to do with him. And so she's gone to Transylvania, Romania, I don't know, wherever she went to, I don't know, Transylvania, I believe. And so she's at this hotel. Well, what we see is that this is the literal, Vlad the Impaler Dracula. This is his home and his castle. And so he has a roommate who's another dude, and the dude's like, we gotta open this place up. Like, this is like, we're sitting on a bounty of money here. Like, let's just fix the place up and rent it out. Now, Vlad has like had nothing to do with technology and just the changing of the times in the 600 years that he's been around. And so when she shows up, he's like, there's just really funny things that happen. Like, he reluctantly opens the castle to people. She's like the first one. He's not used to being around women, like people who are on their phones all the time. Like, he doesn't understand it. He tells her at one point, because she's dressed up for breakfast, not wearing a bra, that her nipples are showing, and that she's to put her nipples away because he can see them, and he hasn't been around women for a while. Like, they keep the castle really, really hot because they're afraid that she's going to be cold, and they can't tell what temperature a human wants to be at because they're not human. And so she's like, why is it so freaking hot in here all the time? Like, just really funny things that happen. I gave it 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. It was a great listen, especially because it was free.
Okay.
All
right. Well, my next read is Bourbon and Lies by Victoria Wilder. And this is the first book in the Bourbon Boys series. So we have Lainey, who basically some things happen. This is not a spoiler because it literally is like how the book starts. She sees something horrific and basically is put into a witness protection program and dropped off with the Fox brothers, who own this distillery. They kind of all live like together in this area. They have this distillery. She's dropped off there kind of in the middle of the night, and they don't really know what's like the guys know something's up, but they don't really know what's going on. So Grant, he's got a lot of baggage. Some really bad stuff has happened to him and some trauma, and he hasn't quite gotten over it. And he's starting to fall for Lainey, but he doesn't want, like, he's nervous, I guess is the best way to put that, because he knows something's up with her and he doesn't want to put himself in that position again. My timer went off. So I enjoyed it. It's a romantic suspense, and I rated it 4 stars. I will continue on in the series someday.
Okay. All right. Put it on your ever-growing TBR.
Yes, basically.
Pretty much. Okay. Well, the next book that I listened to this week, because audio came out for it this week, is called Screwed, and it's by Tori Heat. So this is it's a standalone. It's like book 3 in her. I got pulled it up here. It's like her in Everbound, which is a paranormal alternate universe, but that doesn't make sense because there was nothing paranormal at all in this book. This book is post-apocalyptic, and all of these books can be read. Like I went to go look, and they're all different stories. Like they're not even in the same worlds, from what I could tell. So this one is about Mila and Ray. So Mila's been living on her own in the apocalypse, and the way the apocalypse started was with a sickness, and everybody started to be sick, and then the birth rates went down, and people couldn't. It kind of Handmaid's Tale-ish, like where there's babies aren't being born, and the ones that are being born are very they're worth a lot of money. Let's put it that way. And so there's a gang of guys who kidnap women and they try to impregnate them, and then they sell their babies, and then you get money for food to eat. And so Tori's been hiding from these people. She wants nothing to do with this situation. And one day she goes into town because she needs supplies, and that is when she gets kidnapped by them. And then the masked man shows up. It's the night that they're supposed to like do this thing. They got a whole brothel full of women. And the guy who comes in the mask, she recognizes his voice. And that turns out to be Ray. Now, Ray is taking care of his sisters, and so he's not actually raping the women like all the others. He's trying to help them, but because to get them pregnant. But he and her were like almost married in college, and he thought she died and something happened. And so they have been separated for years. I would have given it 4 stars, but the ending was extremely abrupt, and it was like, whoa, that's it. So I gave it 3.5 stars. I did enjoy it for what it was. There's a lot of braiding in it. Let's put it that way. So, it was all right.
Okay.
Next.
Let's do our drawing. Okay. So hell of a show. You can talk about the book if you want to. That's what we're doing the drawing for.
For hell of a show. So this one is signed by Layla James. Not Shauna Marie lives in Ireland, and we haven't got to meet her yet, but it is signed by Layla. And this is the second book in her Black River Ranch series. And the people that I've had reading it say that this one is their absolute favorite out of the 2. But I loved Wait in the Truck too. So it's all good. I don't know.
I haven't read it yet.
I haven't read it yet either. But I have a friend who read it. I've had a couple friends who read it, and they're like, oh my gosh, it's amazing. So they loved it. They absolutely loved it. So let's give this sucker away.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
So Wheel of Names, all you had to do to enter
Start
was
Cowboy.
Be a subscriber and comment on those last 2 videos, the 1-minute book recs.
Merlin reads books. Congratulations. Yay.
Right. Congrats.
I had to put my glasses on to see that. So yay.
Okay.
Okay. So what does Merlin need to do?
She needs, or he, I guess we don't really know, do we?
We don't.
They need to email us at bestiebookreviews@gmail.com.
Within 2 weeks.
Within 2 weeks, please.
Perfect. Okay. All right. Well, congratulations.
All of the rules and things are listed down in our description.
Mm-hmm. Okay, you got another book, right?
I have several more books.
I know.
Okay, here we go. So my next read, or actually it was a listen because this is an ALC. So I got the ALC for Keep Me Close by Jennifer Sukovic. I practiced. I listened on the audio and practiced. This comes out August 27th in audio. It's narrated by CJ Bloom and Alex Knox. And I didn't start my timer. There we go. Okay, so, it's how funny. And then the main character's name is Knox as well. That's why I was so confused about what the heck was going on in my notes. Okay, so Knox has kind of secretly had this crush on Cheyenne for a while. Cheyenne is a TV star, like very well known. She's related to somebody on the team. Like this is how he knows her. And one day she just shows up and is like, hey, kind of in a weird situation. I was hoping that maybe you would be okay, like pretending to date me for just a couple of weeks because my ex is not really taking the hint and he's kind of like almost turning into a stalker. And so she just wants him to like be seen with her a few times. He's like this hockey star. So that way it gets out there and he'll just back off. So he agrees, but because, I mean, why wouldn't he? He secretly had a crush on her for a while. But things get really complicated because that does not work. And the stalking starts to escalate. And so, like, Knox has got to amp up the situation to try and protect her.
Okay.
I rated it 4 stars.
Okay. Well, next I read a Deborah Garland. This one is called
Love Deborah Garland.
I know. This is Mafia Obsession, and it is book 1 in her, what is it called? American Mafia series. So audio is out for this one. So this one is about Lourdes and Aries. Lourdes is married, and she's in an abusive marriage. Really abusive marriage, and she's trying to, like, she's stealing from her bosses at work to try to save money to take care of her sister who's in some kind of an institute, and we know that she's got some kind of a memory situation going on, and so she's trying to take care of her sister, and she's also trying to plan their escape to get away from her husband. And that is where Aries comes in. They meet one day, and he obviously, instant attraction, falls for her kind of a situation, manipulates the situation so that she has to come work for him. And in the meantime, he knows all of these things about her and her husband because, like any good mafia don, he has done his research on the woman that he has become obsessed with. And when he decides that he's going to take out her husband, he finds out that her husband is not who he seems to be, which makes the stakes higher and more dangerous for Lourdes. So that's all I'm going to say about that one. I gave it 4 stars.
Okay, next up is my trilogy. And we've heard a lot about this trilogy on the channel. So here we go.
Here we go.
That is the Cloister series by Celia Aaron. This is the Coveted cover edition, if you guys haven't seen this yet. It's beautiful. So in this, we have Delilah. Delilah's sister was murdered, and she believes that the Cloister, which is a cult, that's where her sister was. So she believes that somebody in there killed her sister, and she wants to get to the root of what the hell happened. So she goes in pretending to want to be a part of their cult, which they don't call it a cult, but we all know it's cult. And so she infiltrates it, I guess would be the right word. And it is a really messed up place in there. And then we have Adam. Adam is the prophet's son. So the prophet like runs the whole show there, and he's like really fucked in the head. And Adam is a little deranged himself, but he knows what his dad is doing is wrong. And he's trying to figure out how to fix the situation. But his dad has no limits. And so it's really kind of put everybody in a really shitty situation, and it's just all sorts of fucked up. I actually was like ready to DNF at one point because I couldn't handle some of the stuff that was happening, and Jessica was like, just keep reading it, it'll be fine. So
in that exact voice, yeah, that's exactly how I said it.
It might have been more snarky. So that being said, this is a very dark romance with like I know we always talk about dark romance and checking triggers, but this one probably could be very triggering. The trigger warnings are probably pretty extensive for this one. So anyway, dark romance. If you like dark romance, dark, not light. If you like dark romance.
Dark. Yeah.
Yeah. And you like the cult stuff, like this is really good. So I rated the whole series 4 stars. I wasn't really sure how I was feeling about it at first because Adam's pretty messed up.
Yeah, he is. Yep. Oh, we love a walking red flag, but he had all the red flags. So yeah. Okay. So the next one that I read is an Omegaverse, and it's a duet, but I just read the first book. I will read the second book eventually. So this one is called Jagged Lies, and it's by Evelyn Flood. This is the story of Kennedy, who is our Omega, and she is dying. She has this pack of guys that she's been close to all throughout high school, and something major happened. They had a pack alpha, which is one of the guy's brothers, and she killed him a few months prior. And so something happened that night, and it's causing her to literally rot away from the inside. Like she is dying, and they don't know this. They're all angry with her. She's been hiding out with her dad in their trailer on the mountain, just trying to survive. Her dad's not a good guy either. And her dad loses his job, and he asks his daughter, who literally has days or weeks left to live, if she'll go get a job at the diner to help support them. And so when she does, the guys are actually there. She doesn't have a choice. And that is when they realize that they are actually, now they're old enough, they can realize this, they're set match, like they're matched like that. They're fated mates. And so now they've got this fated mate that they hate, and she's also literally dying. So it was great. I gave it 4 stars. Okay. We'll see what happens. Yeah.
Okay. So as I said, I went to see Vikeyland, and it was in conversation with Penny Reed. I had not read Penny Reed before, so I have heard about her. I have one of her books on my shelf, so I was like, oh, I should listen to a Penny Reed book on my way through horrific Seattle traffic. So I listened to Totally Folked by Penny Reed. And this is about Raquel. Raquel is a very famous movie star, and she's just kind of reached the point in her career where she's tired of everybody just demanding things from her, and she's having to do them. And like her assistant is completely out of control. Like she's just ready for a more authentic life. And so she goes to Green Valley. She's been there before. Her friend lives there, so she goes there. Just to kind of seek some peace. And she ends up seeing this guy that she had a one night stand with when she was there several years before. And that guy is Jackson. Jackson is the town, he's the deputy sheriff. And he's got some pressures on him to start running for sheriff and like all of this stuff. And he's also been kind of a chronic bachelor, and he's kind of ready to maybe start settling down, but he just doesn't really know what that looks like for him, that sort of thing. And so Raquel and him end up spending some time together for various reasons, and it kind of goes from there. But it's a lot deeper than what I'm making it sound. I don't know how to like describe it. It's not surface level. There's a lot more to it. But Penny Reed also has a really great sense of humor, so there's a little bit of humor in this as well. And so I really enjoyed it. I rated it 4 stars.
So the last book that I have to talk about this week is an audiobook I listened to. It's one that I just had in my audio, and I was like, I don't want to buy a new book or whatever, so let me find what I've got to listen to already. So this is Tainted by Jamie Bagley. This is the second book in the VIP Room series. This one follows the rock stars that we meet in, I think we meet them in Shade's book. Of The Last Riders. So this is Sawyer and Caden's story. Sawyer's our heroine. And at the beginning of this book, she is being held. So she has been kidnapped, and she is being held by not good people. And we see Cade. He is the lead singer of the rock band. And is he lead singer? Yeah, he's in the rock band. And he has been brought back. He like left because of choices that were made. And he's been brought back now, and he's back on tour with them. And in order to keep the stars from having any scandals, their manager arranges for these women who are supposed to be call girls to be waiting for them in their room. Well, that is where Sawyer shows up. She's been drugged by these guys, and she has been brought in to be a call girl against her will for these guys. And when she sees Caden, Sawyer chooses her, has her in her room. She's already in his room when he gets in there, and he realizes something isn't right. Like she's really drugged, and she can't tell him something isn't right, but he can tell that she's in distress, and so he decides to keep her there overnight, so that the drugs can leave her system, so that he can find out what is going on. And that is when they find out about the sex trafficking ring and that she's been kidnapped and all of these things. I gave it 3 stars. I actually kind of got bored. I wanted their story, but I could think these were older books, and I don't know. There's a lot of flashbacks. I got bored. Yeah. I was also in a mood, okay, because I will also say I started Don't Say Mafia this week, and I got 5 chapters in, and I was bored. So I'm pretty sure it's me. I'm pretty sure it was my mood. And then I stopped it immediately, and I was like, I am not doing this because I know that this is CRJ and I should be loving this, and I'm not. So I'll go back to it next week. So we'll see.
Okay. And also, Jessica is in the midst of a thunderstorm. So if you are hearing the weird audio I was hearing, that's why. So hopefully it figures itself out. Sometimes we hear weird things on our end or things go blurry, but then when the video uploads, it's fine because we're,
2 separate. Yeah. Yep.
Well,
okay.
It works itself out. But
it works itself out.
Jessica has not gone psychotic, and I could hear you talking and then it would like cut in with like something you just said. It was weird. So
Weird. Okay, hopefully it didn't continue that.
so hopefully Jessica's head like isn't spinning, you know. Just kidding.
Might be.
Crazy. Okay.
Okay. I'm out.
I am shocked about Don't Say Mafia.
I really hope it's just me and my mood, because I was like, if I was listening to this, I would have DNF'd it. Like if it wasn't CRJ, I would have DNF'd it. I was bored.
Really?
So yeah. So I'm really hoping that it was just my mood.
I loved it.
I know.
And a few other people I know who have read it have said they loved it too. So
yeah,
we shall see.
We shall see.
You know what? Sometimes everything doesn't work for everyone, but
it's CRJ, and I love CRJ.
I know. That's
weird. Yeah. Okay. Well,
I am concerned for you.
I know.
Our whole channel is going to be gone if you can't read and get into books anymore.
It's just a phase. I listened to a Ruby Dixon and a different JB Bagley to try and pull me out of it. So, which is what we're not talking about, because I'm like, there's
You've also been working a lot, so maybe that's a problem.
I'm just and it's really hot in the warehouse because it's really muggy here, and there's like no AC, and I'm tired of sweating and being hot and working so much. But
okay,
it'll be worth it in the end.
Thank you for sharing. Okay, next, I read When the Smoke Clears by Julie Ann. This releases on August 25th. So, if you would like to ugly cry and have emotional damage, go grab this book. I will say that this does deal with the death of a parent. You can read a little bit more about that, Julie Ann. It feels very raw and emotional because she pulled from an actual experience that she was going through. And when I was reading it, I was like, somebody has been down this road, because I lost both my parents to cancer. So just want to throw that out there, that there would have been a time where I probably couldn't have read this book. Just throwing that out there. Okay, so we have Everly. She is a child prodigy, and we've heard a little tiny bit about her in the other books in the series. You don't have to read those to be able to read this. It truly is a standalone. I would just say, if you like Julie Ann, you should read the whole series because it's really good. So Everly is in medical school. She's a second-year medical student when she's 17. She is involved in this wedding. Will is also involved in the wedding. Will is 29. Will thinks that because she is a second-year medical student, she's probably close to his age, or, you know, not going to be 17. So after things happen between the two of them and he finds out she's only 17, he freaks the flip out and leaves. And they have not spoken since. And she is now back in where he lives, in Missoula, I believe is where they live. And she is a psychiatrist, and it's just really sad. Everly just really, like, being a child prodigy kind of screwed up a lot of her social stuff for her. And so she just really wants to find a friend group and fit in. She still has feelings for Will, and Will really hates her for what she did. And he's also dealing with his father's illness. And so this book was just so incredibly powerful. Both, like, you could take the romance completely out of this and the book would stand on its own because of the powerful stories that those two have. And then you kind of mesh that together. And it was just written only how Julie Ann can write books, you know? It was 5 stars. I loved it, even though I cried.
Okay.
Some of that could have been like a little bit of healing for myself, though, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. My last book we don't need to switch over for, because I read Mountain Daddy by S.J. Tilley. This is our book club book for August, but in case you didn't see my post, we are needing to bump it back 1 week. So a book club is going to be on September 5th, same time at 6 p.m. Pacific time on our channel. It's just bumping back 1 week. There is audio for Mountain Daddy. We always make sure that we have audio for our book club books. So just want to make sure everybody remembers that. And the book is a little bit longer, but S.J. Tilley writes really short chapters, so it's not as long as it seems. So if you're a little like overwhelmed by how long it is, the audio is pretty average for an audiobook.
Yep. Okay.
So we hope you'll join us. Our trope was Daddy, so and Mountain Daddy. So
yep.
Mark your calendars for the new date, September 5th. And our apologies for, well, I'll own it. It's me. I have kids in sports and things get complicated very quickly, especially at the start of the school year for me. And then we're going to fangirl right after it. So September is going to be a little bit of a mess on the channel. We have it all planned out, so you will still get videos Monday, Thursdays, and Saturdays, and sometimes Wednesdays from us. The schedule just might look slightly different a few times for 1 minute book recs, and we'll let everybody know what that's going to look like. But if we're slow on comments, that's why. But nothing should really truly be like videos are still going to go up.
Yeah, exactly.
It just might be a little bit slower on comments in September.
Especially on that Sunday and Monday of Fangirl. I don't want to answer any of your emails. I don't want to do any comments. I'm going to be in Disney World with Mandy and BJ, and I don't want to touch it. I'm putting an out of office reply on things. It's an exhausting trip, but it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
The heat and all day long.
And going to Disney World for 2 days.
We're staying and going to Disney
World. I just want to go on the log ride.
Okay.
I have and I want to eat a churro. I have very little expectations for what we're doing. I want to eat a churro, and I want to go on the log ride.
I know that we've talked about going on a budget and making sure that we don't go crazy. Like food in Disneyland is really, or Disney World is really expensive. The only thing I expect is beignets, and I want them for breakfast, lunch, and damn dinner, and dessert. Because we don't get them here.
Churros, because that's a healthy choice.
You live off churros. I'll live off beignets. We'll see what Becky wants to live off of, and then we'll go from there.
And then we will go on the log ride, and I will hold my churro, and you hold your beignet, and that's going to be our picture. That would be hilarious. We should.
And if we can get Becky to have a giant turkey leg, that would be even better. I'll talk to her this week and see how she feels with that.
Food on the log ride?
No. And you're probably going to eat them in line anyway. So,
Very funny. Anyway, we're going to have a good time.
We are. Yeah.
But
that's a
comments and things just might be slightly delayed. So please be patient with us.
Yes, please. All right. Well, let's wrap this video up.
Well, make sure you check back on Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. And if you haven't hit that subscribe button, please do. And sometimes Wednesdays for new videos from us. And we have one on this Wednesday that most of you who have ever felt tormented, is that a good enough hint? Should check out.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.